Now, the sticker price of the new C-Class has gone up by a good margin. That is a fact. What is also a fact is the fact that the new C-Class only comes to you in the range topping versions, not in the base or a so-called entry-level version that some of the other rivals offer for a tempting sticker price. Now, for Delhi NCR buyers, the sole petrol model, the C200, could be the option in the entire range, and that is why we are here to review this one for you guys. Now, a few months back, we drove the flagship C in India, the C300. That's the diesel with the mild hybrid setup. The drive happened in Uttarakhand, and after the drive, that one came across as a perfect blend of luxury, performance, and of course, efficiency. The link to that video is currently on the screen as well as in the description section below. But this video is all about the petrol superstar, the C200, and hence, let's get the video started. Now, first thing first, for a lot of buyers in the market, size does matter. Size in terms of the engine over here. For this one, at an asking price of half a crore ex-showroom New Delhi, the engine you get is only in terms of capacity 1.5 liters. But guys, do remember it also offers you over 200 horses. What does that mean? Well, let me show it to you right away. Now, the C200 Petrol comes to you in 4 different driving modes. You have the Eco, you have the Comfort, you have the Sport, and of course, you have the Individual as well. I want to speak a few things about the Eco mode. Of course, someone paying so much money will not be too bothered about the fuel economy of the car. But even then, for the past week or so, my commutes from my home in Delhi to Gurgaon, including in peak traffic hours, have never seen a displayed economy of less than 10 kmpl. So that is a big plus point. In the Eco mode, in traffic conditions, if you're rolling in traffic, whenever you go off the right pedal, the engine shuts off and it comes back to life in a very silent manner. You will not even come to know if you're not looking at the speedometer console. It is so smooth. The transition is flawlessly done very well by the engineers at Mercedes Benz. So yes, the Eco mode, if you're being chauffeur driven, you can give the Eco mode to your driver, and in turn, your pockets will be slightly on the happier side. And if you are behind the wheel, even in the Eco mode, whenever you go back on the right pedal, there is no lag as such. Of course, you have your paddle shifters to take control of the chart, and then you have the Comfort mode and the Sport mode as well. As I told you a few minutes back, this one can be a pretty quick car when you're going flat out from 0 to 100 or accelerating past other cars or moving in on a gap. It is a quick vehicle, including in the Eco mode as well. Now, from the driving point of view, sedans, they are low. I'm sure if you're looking at the C-Class, you must have thought about investing into an SUV as well. So from visibility point of view, happy to report it is not a bad thing at all. Of course, in traffic conditions, other cars might tower over you, but for your tight situations in peak rush hour traffic, you will not feel hammered in, and that's a very good plus point. With the diesel version, that one comes with low profile tires on taller rims, on taller alloy wheels. This is not the case over here. So the ride quality is definitely on the plush side. That does not mean you cannot throw this into corners or you can not change lanes like this. It still remains a good car for enthusiast point of view. But yes, the main thing that people buy the C-Class is for comfort, and this one delivers on the comfort account pretty well. At the same time, it is a low sedan, so going over tall speed breakers, especially with the load, is a task. You have to go in a diagonal manner so that you should not be scraping the underbelly. But apart from that, the steering effort, I'm currently in the normal comfort mode. The steering effort is light. This is a simple, flawless, easy to drive C-Class that can be given to your wife or your daughter or anyone in the family to drive in urban conditions. Now, although the C-Class does not offer you ADAS at this price point, it does come with something called as the active brake assist. So basically, there are radars up front, sensors up front. So in traffic conditions, if a car suddenly brakes in front of you or a pedestrian walks in front of you suddenly and you don't notice that, the car will brake automatically for you. This is also the case when you're reversing in tight situations. If you don't notice a car behind you, this one, the C-Class, will automatically brake for you. So yeah, some level of safety, some level of ADAS is built into the car at this price point. Another small thing about the C200 is the way it sounds, that it could definitely give you grinning moments. It's very much at standstill, or when you're revving out at high RPMs, or even if you're going, suppose at third gear at 30 kmph and you want to floor the right pedal, this is the way it sounds like. Now remember, all the petrol options in the C lineup, the 220d, the 300d, as well as the 200 Petrol, all of these they come paired with a 9-speed gearbox. So even in this one, you have 9 gears coming in. And again, I want to point out, it's not that you would be worried about fuel economy, but with the 200 Petrol at around 85 kmph, 90 kmph in the 9th gear, it's doing almost 30 kmpl. That is how tall the gearing is, and that is how well the engine has been tuned. So for your long drives on an expressway, holding 100 with the world passing by in a very silent manner, the engine will also be sipping this amount of fuel only this amount of fuel. At the same time, the 9-speed gearbox in the drive mode, the engine is relaxed. The gearbox goes about doing its duties in a very able, calm manner. There is no unwanted, pull or push coming in. Whenever the gears get changed, you won't notice that too much. Of course, you have the paddle shifters. They are reasonably quick in terms of responding. Second, third, fourth, does the job very well. So yes, you do have the outright power for a possible 0 to 100 run in under 7.5 seconds. But you may ask me, what about your daily routine? Happy to report, in terms of torque, you have 300 Nm of torque coming in, and it's got a proper mild hybrid setup which can assist the engine or the motor with an extra 20 bhp and 200 Nm. How does it work? Well, let's have a look. Right then, with performance and the daily drive torque out of the picture, let me quickly tell you about the design of the C-Class. It surely is an attention magnet on the road. I have been driving this one for over a week in Delhi NCR now, and I stay in West Delhi, I work in Gurgaon, and a big part of my commute has to be in traffic conditions. That is where I have seen a lot of times people slow down, they look at the car, they try to appreciate the car, even those driving a similar premium car from other rival. Speaking of rivals, in this segment, you can pick up from the Audi offering, from the Beamer offering, from the Volvo offerings as well. But the brand recall of the 3-pointed star, the way the C-Class tries to ape the S-Class, cannot be ignored. So for those who want an additional fashion statement or a style statement or a social status, the C-Class, even at this price, remains unbeatable even today. Why? Look at the whole design of the vehicle. I've told you earlier also, it tries to ape the S-Class in the way it looks up front, the side profile, the sloping roof, and of course at the rear as well. The C300d, the flagship of the C-Class, of course gets an additional treatment with the AMG kit. This one is missing that, but this color combination and the whole premium appeal of the C-Class has only gone up in the last few years. In fact, at the Uttarakhand drive, we had the whole lineup of C generations outside the hotel. That video is interesting for those who want to understand how the design has evolved. Again, the link to that is on the screen as well as in the description section below to see. So then, to see the entire lineup of the C-Class, guys, do not miss that video. Now, in the diesel C-Class review, I spoke at length about the interiors of this new generation C-Class. But for this video, for the petrol video, let me still quickly run you through the interiors on offer. Now, from an owner's perspective, you can pick from a couple of options for the interior color theme. You have the dark and beige for the seats. You also have the dark and the brown tone over here, brown for the seats and for the color pattern. In my opinion, this shade of brown goes more well with the whole luxury theme that Mercedes Benz is always known for. Now, if you're going to be investing into this car, it's cost over ₹500 crore ex-showroom Delhi. There are a few things I want to tell you and warn about before you go to the website for booking or to the Mercedes Benz showroom. There is no proper true keyless entry system in the C-Class. Yes, you have to unlock the doors from the key fob manually. That could be a bit of a bummer for a lot of buyers in the market. Likewise, you cannot cool the seats. Yes, there is no ventilation option for the front two seats, which means your will remain warm in a typical Indian summer scenario. But apart from that, me or you will have no reason to complain inside the C-Class. Now, like any other typical sedan, getting into the car is a bit of an effort, but once inside, you will love to be in this cocoon. Most Merc models have the theme lights coming in, and once it gets dark on the outside, if you drive in the car or you're being chauffeur driven at night, the interior mood lighting will definitely blow you away. Likewise, the vertical treatment for the chrome inserts on these wooden panels on the dashboard, they definitely add a touch of class. Now, these are the things that people want to see, people want to enjoy. A lot of people in the market, including me, we have grown up seeing the three-pointed star. We have always wanted to get a three-pointed star home. And if you do that, these elements, these luxury elements, will definitely keep you happy. The talking point over here is the huge screen. This basically does away with the physical buttons. So the entire central console, it's clean, it's neat, it's well laid out. The touch reception is beautifully well. It's very, very quick, and a lot of options on the screen, including the information option, where basically if you start the vehicle, yes, it started. If you start the vehicle, you can go between the consumption factor, the vehicle factor, or the engine factor as well. It looks very nice. Likewise, you have this main speedometer console. It's a big display, a super high-res display, and you can choose from multiple options on the way you want the screen to look like. Different options for different personalities and different tastes. Now, visibility point of view, I stand 6 feet tall. My seat is not at the lowest level right now. Good visibility of the bonnet, of the bulges, the muscles on the bonnet. The outside mirrors are large. This one gives you a good visibility at the rear. I still have approximately half or 1 inch of headroom left over here because you have a panoramic sunroof coming in. So if you wear a turban, if you're tall, this might not be the option. You might have to go for an SUV. But for tall people like me, the front seats, they feel comfortable. They have good support. Again, I have this car for over a week's time. No complaints whatsoever. So this part of the car, if you want to drive the car yourself and not being chauffeur driven, you will definitely have a good time. At the same time, Mercedes-Benz, can we have the flat bottom steering from the diesel version? That just looks more sportier on the inside. It's now time to go to the back seat. If you have a tall chauffeur or if you're tall in the family, what about the space at the back? Well, let's go in there. Now, this might not be the best backseat in the business in this price segment, but it does the job pretty well. Remember, this seat is having positioned for my height. I stand 6 feet tall, and as you can make out, I have a good 3 to 4 inches of knee room left over here. But at the same time, I cannot really take my feet too much ahead under the seat. Likewise, if a middle row passenger comes in over here, he or she's going to have a tough time because this is a rear-wheel drive car, which means the central tunnel is pretty high over here. Now, for a tall rear passenger, you can make out I still have decent amount of headroom over here in spite of a sunroof coming in over here. Of course, I can go down slightly like this and have a proper good nap on the move. The doors, they do open wide like this, but being a low sedan, which is the case with most low sedans, getting in and out of the car is a bit of a task. You do have one nice touch, which is the basically the glossy black panel over here and the finish for the armrest on the door pads. They look nice, they look classy, and of course this also comes in as standard a manual sun blind on the C200. You do have slight amount of space at the back to keep something which might not come ahead on braking, but in terms of your practicality, the door pads, they offer generous amount of space. You also have these pullable magazine or your newspaper holders behind the seat. So that's about it on the rear seat of the C-Class. And that brings us to the end of the video and time for my verdict on the C200 Petrol. Now, if you seek thrills or if you want a performance-oriented luxury sedan at this price point, this one might not be for you.
But if you want an all-rounder, if you've always wanted to own the 3-pointed star, and if you're going to be driving the car more often than being chauffeur driven, this one at this price is highly recommended, especially for Delhi NCR buyers. Yes, the C200 Petrol is expensive than what it should have been by approximately 10 to 15%, but then this one has always commanded and demanded a premium for the right reasons. If you're still watching this video, a big thanks from all of us at 91 Wheels. Like I told you before guys, don't forget to check out the video of the C300, and if you want to go electric in the same price band, we also have the XC40 for you guys.